Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled The Uncomfortable Truth About Black Women Over 40. Let's get right into it.
I, for one, am a 38-year-old woman. Yes, I am 38 years old. I just turned 38 a few days ago. I have no shame in that. I love myself. I love my body. I love everything. I love my mindset. Listen, I'm grateful to be here another year. But I'm 38 years old. I don't have a husband. I'm not married. No, I'm not. Have I been engaged? Yes. Have I had boyfriends? Oh, for sure. But I'm not married, okay? I am not married. I've never been married, okay? I don't have any kids. Yes, I don't have kids, okay? Once upon a time in my 20s and early 30s, when I would tell people I don't have any kids, it was, they would glorify it like, oh girl, don't ever have kids. But now the closer you get to 40, people are like, what's wrong with you, girl? What you waiting on? I'm tired of seeing these posts about, oh, you're 36 years old and you don't have a man yet, you're undesirable. Oh, I don't want you. The other man didn't want you. I don't want you either. I'm single by choice. By choice. Because let's just be honest, right? If you are in the dating field and you're a woman right now, single in the dating field, there is a gender war that is literally going on right now. And you could very well be a sane individual, but because you have met a man who's broken and has been scarred by multiple women that he was supposed to be with, he's going to come in and not know how to treat you or handle who you are. He sees that you're healed and it's going to trigger his demons. So he's going to automatically feel like this is too good to be true, and he's going to end up self-sabotaging or just overall sabotaging the relationship. That's just kind of what's happening out here.
So what is market value? What does that mean as it relates to women? As men age, they seem to increase in value. One, because they tend to make more money as they get older and they become silver foxes, and so of course being a man and aging is going to be different than a woman. And you guys have heard me talk on this channel about the invisible woman or the invisible black woman. Women become more invisible in society. Why is that? Because as a woman, most people are looking not at your money, not at your career necessarily, but the value you bring, being that beauty, fertility, youth, all the things that many of us don't even think about, that we just kind of have, that some of us don't even really work for. Many of us don't necessarily work for our fertility, or maybe we'll work for our beauty to some extent, as far as eating healthy, being in the gym, but beauty is something that in a lot of cases is given. So the goal then is to just kind of maintain that beauty and maybe glow up and enhance it and improve it, but it's something that you just have. Versus with men, oftentimes their value is very much connected to their actions, what they contribute to the world. And therefore, the harder they work, the more money they make, the more their value increases. And with women, because our value, and this is again, not intrinsic value, but our value in society is very much tied to how we look, how we appear, how feminine we are. Oftentimes, that is why as time progresses and we look older, even when we try to look younger, when it's obvious that we're older, that is why we don't get the same reverence that men get. And this is not necessarily fair, but life is not fair. This is just what it is, right?
I think what it really is that women were told to delay having children, and that's a bad idea. Because it's against your biology, right? You have a reproductive window that's only so big, and someone tells you to, instead of using that window, right, that you're biologically designed to, say, oh, forgo that, man. Go get an education. Go work at a law firm. Go get a big job. And then those same companies turn around and sell them, oh, we could freeze your eggs. I mean, we just keep delaying women in our society to have children to the point where they get old enough or they get too old to have children, right? Your eggs are frozen, but you're in your 50s now, and you can't even use them. So I think it's horrible what society has done to women, and I feel bad that they are insufferable and no one wants to date them. But they fell for a lie. It's sad, but they did. They fell for a lie, and that lie is that you could have it all and you could have it later. Neither of those things are true.
And it doesn't mean that, you're getting older now, you got to start shrinking and getting more, assuming you're ugly and no, it's not that, but it's just the awareness to know that a woman who's 25 is gonna have a different place in the world than a woman who's 45. And I am saying this, and I'm very proud of being in my 40s. I'm 42. I have never shied away from that on this channel. I openly tell people my age. I just told somebody my age today. But I recognize that this is something that is not the case for a lot of women. And real quick story time. I remember when I was in my 20s, I'm going to go with early to mid 20s. I had a birthday party. Well, it was a small private birthday party for a friend of mine who was much older than me. I mean, she was turning 41, and I had a cake. I don't think I made the cake, but I got a cake for her, and I put 41 on the cake. And when I tell you that day, our friendship ended. Like it continued, but it really ended in her heart, because she was so angry at me for putting 41. Now in my mind, mind you, I'm in my 20s, so I'm oblivious to how women really feel about their age. And I didn't grow up with women who were ashamed of their age, so I assumed that she would be proud because she looked really good, right? She was fit, she looked amazing. So I just would be like, wow, you look amazing for your age. Why wouldn't you want people to know? She did not want anybody to know. And this was a private, small party, like for 8 people. It wasn't like this big. But on that day, I learned about market value. I didn't realize I was learning about market value, but that was a quick, short lesson in market value and what that means to women personally and what it means at large, right? And so it's interesting as time passes to hear the stories of Holly Berry, to hear the stories of someone like Tyra Banks, who was recently on the runway after, I think I forgot, 20 years or something like that.
Okay, before she gets into Tyra Banks, I want to point out what she talked about as far as women being shamed about their age. By the way, we don't shame women. I don't shame women about their age. But we know you're not supposed to ask a woman her age, right? I think that's indicative that we know that women have sexual market value, and that after 40 it's not the same. You become premenopausal, and that part of your life is gone forever. And we know this is a double standard because men could have kids in their 70s, in their 80s, and men have. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's interesting, though, that based on women's biology, we have to lie to them. We have to pretend like they're not 41, right? We have to don't ask them their age, so we all could pretend like they're really younger than what they really are. I don't know why society has it that way, other than the fact that it's protecting women from the shame of aging out the dating market, right? It's trying to protect women. It's like, don't ask her age so she could feel better. But you know your age, though. If you're 40, 41, 42, and I put it on a birthday cake, did I lie? I told the truth, And the truth of the matter is that age is not that bad for a woman if you age gracefully, the way you look and the way you lived your life. If you're married, you have a husband, you have a family, you have kids, it might not be that bad to be 41, I didn't know, Erykah Badu is 53, right? She's still revered as a sex symbol, right? She even embarrassed DJ Academics on his own show, and if you look back at it, this is a woman who's trolling a man coming into his prime, becoming a high value man, right? He blew up on YouTube. Now he has his own show with Complex. And here you are, older lady out of the dating market, essentially, embarrassing him. And that kind of goes to show that even though a woman might age out the marketplace, some of them still have a lot of skills that you simps don't got. they can run circles around you, and they're convinced that if they can run circles around you, they can run circles around us other alpha men. I'm about to start saying something else. My bad. The other alpha men, and Erica Badu could not embarrass me. She probably would have never tried to embarrass me like that either. She know what time it is. But honestly, I think it's really interesting to know that, even though society lies to us, there's some basic fundamental truths that has been with humans for a long time, such as don't ask a woman her age, and that we can't deny. I know a lot of women over 40 that they won't tell me their age, but I know your age.
She hadn't been on the runway, and she got dragged by some people because they talked about how now she is more full-figured. I mean, she's still not big, but in the world of modeling, she would be considered plus size. And so the sort of the big joke is like, oh, well, she kind of made fun of or kind of came down hard on plus size women, and now look at her, right? But a lot of that is she's older, right? I mean, she's not going to look like she did when she was in her 20s. It is something that has permeated our society and our reality, and it's something that's so pervasive. I want to explain this because I think that when this is talked about, women get offended, they're hurt, they are, completely just like, how dare, anyone, especially a woman, talk about this. But the reality is, this is just how the world works. And if you're not aware of it, if it's something that you kind of want to just go through life and pretend like it doesn't exist, like you, like a 50-year-old woman and a 28-year-old woman are viewed the same in society, if that is your mindset, you are going to be sadly let down. Think about a man who is wealthy, and most men who are wealthy will not, the goal is to not die alone, right? The goal is to have a wife, to have children, to leave a legacy, to pass down your wealth. Like, it would be a shame to die as a wealthy man alone with all this wealth and like nobody to pass it down to. And similarly, beauty works kind of that way too, if we want to be honest. People look at,
I think it's a shame for a human to die alone. Being lonely, you're going to have to go through periods of your life where you're lonely, but you don't want it to be the end of your life. The beginning of your life and the ending of your life, you want to be there with loved ones, right? The very beginning and the very ending. But in the middle, to find your own way, your own path, you're going to be alone. The path to success is lonely. And a lot of women take that path to success. They get the degrees, they get the higher education, they get the better paying job, they get the corner office, la-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da, boss babe, boss babe, boss babe. You get the picture, right? They become these women that are so impressive that they intimidate men, according to them. Or they just repel men, right? Because if you're a real man, I don't care how much money you got, you don't want to be ruled by a woman. I think women don't understand that. Women think that men re-rule because we have more money. Therefore, if they get more money, they should rule. And a lot of women who become boss babes, they want to have a say in their house, in their relationship. They want to wear the pants, and they will date beta men now, let them wear the pants, But they're never too happy with those guys because ultimately they want the men who are going to put them in their place. The dude that's confident, the dude that can cheat. They don't want him to cheat, but they want him to have the ability to. They want to be able to say, oh, yo, yeah, I want a guy that a lot of girls want. No woman wants a guy that nobody wants. And that's the trouble. The trouble in all that there's a lot of great men that are not desired by most women because women only want 10% of the population. So you have 90% of the men undesirable arbitrarily for no good reason. It's so sad. By women who are no better than them. Vivica Fox, she's 60, she's completely has no sexual market value, and since she might have a negative sexual market value, but she still wants a man that can wine, dine, spoil her, take her on trips, and match her at her level, because in her mind, money makes us equal. Money doesn't make us equal. Money does not make men and women equal. So women are discovering now, they make more money, and they realize they don't have the life a man has. Blame God. Be mad at God. This is the way God set it up, And so accept that, men, we lead by competence, by biology. We are divine leaders. Don't be upset about it. This is the way we're built, from the head to the toe. The masculine brain is a rational brain that is going to figure out solutions to problems. And a lot of women don't want to solve their problems. A lot of women don't want you to solve their problems. They want to be able to just moan and complain and cry and have their grievances and just have someone to listen to. They just want company. They just want attention. That's what really matters. And this is why a lot of women have no need to improve, because they're still getting attention. So that woman who's unattractive, miserable, has a bad attitude, she'll still get attention if she's somewhat attractive. She don't have to be completely attractive. She's somewhat attractive. And so a lot of women take advantage of that. I'm getting attention. Who cares? I know a girl who was beautiful at one point in her life. Then she became morbidly obese, but men still wanted her, and so it's almost like she didn't even gain weight. She had no interest in losing the weight because she still got the same amount of attention. And so, people, we gotta understand ourselves. I think the best thing to do as a human is to understand how humans work. Study human behavior. I went to school for marketing, and so I'm fascinated by human behavior from the standpoint of, how do I sell to someone? How do I market to them? How do I influence them? I didn't know the rabbit hole went so deep, where a lot of things that were marketing ideas, people really hold on to like it's their deity. They really believe it. And you can't tell them different. They believe that there's a gender pay gap. There is no gender pay gap. If it was cheaper to hire women, no men would be able to get a job, because people just hire women. Women draw crowds anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if you have women only working for you at a restaurant, that'll work. Women only working at a gym, that'll work. If we had women staffing everything, it'd work. But here's the problem. Most women don't want to do all the jobs that men have to do. So the jobs that we have to do that they don't want to do, there's a higher pay for it, because there's less resource labor. There's less human resources for it. You know what I'm saying? So supply and demand. So, I think we live in a world right now where we've been lied to for so long, we can't tell what's true or what's a lie. But the number one lie to take away from all this is that men and women are not the same, and that is okay. Becoming successful as a man is not the same as becoming successful as a woman. It's just different.
Beautiful women. If you're a beautiful woman and you have not figured out how to secure a provider and a protector for yourself, there are going to be a lot of questions about why, right? Because there are women who are average who have been able to do this. So if you are extremely beautiful and you struggle in that area, it is going to be almost like a wealthy man who, has no one to pass down his wealth to, or a wealthy man who leaves absolutely no legacy. It is going to be looked at as a disgrace, as hard as that is to hear. But this is, when we talk about the market, I look at it like the stock market or something like that, where it's volatile, right? There's a lot of competition, and your goal, just like when you invest, what do they say? Invest early and often. Invest early and often. So that means start when you're young and keep going. And that doesn't mean date, doesn't mean sleep around, date around. But again, it just means you keep trying until you secure your protector and your provider. People who invest later in life, in most cases, will not get the same return on their investment that folks got who invested earlier, right? And so this is something important to understand. None of this means that you're completely doomed if you wait until you're 50 or 60, like Vivica Fox, like we've talked about. It doesn't mean that it won't be possible to find love. Of course you can find love. But just like with investing, when you invest later, often that comes with sometimes more limitations, because the time span, you don't have as much time that if you would have started investing when you were 20, it gives you more time. Versus if you start investing at 60, you're going to be limited, right? And so often
the business talk conversation, that's cool. She's trying to use it as an analogy as far as invest in yourself as a woman, you know, get your health together. But, you know, whether you invest in your health or not, you know, there's a you got a clock, you know what I'm saying? You got a reproductive window, you know. You could just, it's not a matter of investment, it's a matter of use your resources, strike when the iron's hot, you know, don't wait till the bread is cold to serve it, you know. So women are serving cold toast and they want people to be desiring it so much. No, I want my toast nice and warm, nice and crispy, okay? And so, but just to talk about investment really quick, I want to say something about investment. I think it's kind of funny, a little cool little tidbit. Do you know the average millionaire, if you look at like what their lifestyle was or what did they do in the past, a good portion of millionaires are teachers or former teachers, right? They've been investing since they became a teacher, you know, because teachers have a lot of unions and so teachers have a lot of information on how to retire rich, you know, and a lot of teachers are rich. Shockingly enough, I think 30% of new millionaires are teachers, believe it or not. And they're older, right? And they're retired teachers. So all these women want $1 million, and a lot of them don't realize they're old retired teachers, right? Your 4th grade science teacher now is a millionaire in his 60s. They don't want that. They want the young millionaire, the rapper, the ball player, you know, the entertainer. And they're even more rare, right? A lot of rich people are not entertainers, believe it or not. Anyway, like this video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave a link to the original video in the description. You guys go check it out. Black women, I'm praying for you. I want to see you achieve great things, and I hope that you teach your daughters all the things you did not learn, so they have a better chance than you did. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I said that already. Check out some other videos. I'll see you over there.